Now, I've had the MT09 in my collection, my humble collection, a little over 3 years, 3.5 years, and it has grown on me like no other bike in my collection. And after 3.5 years, I think I love it more than the day it was brand new. But there's a thing that I always think about. I think about it while I'm riding. Where did the time go? It went right by. This morning we have another day in the low 40s, but it's going to go to 50 very soon. Maybe even in the mid 50s if we're lucky. It doesn't even matter. We're going to get a ride either way. We got to do a little cleanup on the bike, of course pre-flight it, pick some flowers, make sure the wife is happy, have that extra coffee, and we'll be out on the open road. Now it's pretty funny. You put a new chain on the bike and you spend about the next 10 rides cleaning off the back wheel of that grease from the Regina chain. But once you get that it stops bleeding off that grease, at least you hope you got another 17,000 miles. Look at the stuff that comes off of there. Wow. And the spokes, it seems like it all winds up on the spokes. And it doesn't seem to matter how much you clean the outside of the chain. There's still grease somewhere in there. And it all winds up on that back wheel, but we're going to clean this up before we head out for a ride. It's a beautiful, beautiful fall day. I can't wait to get out on the open road. And it's funny, here in my neighborhood, jets are flying overhead. And this time of year, the leaves are changing still. We still have a few leaves around. The leaves are falling. You've got to watch out. You got to make sure your traction control's on. But that chain, oh boy, Regina is not cheap with the grease. And now, because I like to keep the bike clean, I prefer to ride a clean bike. It's a lot of maintenance, I know. And Karen's still, her garden is still flowers in it. It's amazing. This late in the year, it's just an unbelievable thing. But again, the problem is, and I keep coming back to it, I know it sounds kind of redundant. I think about the years I've owned this bike, and where did the time go? It seems like it was just yesterday. This was a brand new bike. And time seems to have a funny way of changing as you get older. It seems to go faster and faster. I remember my mother telling me that, when my late mom, and she was right. As you get older, it just goes faster and faster. But the problem, the real problem, is you can't do anything about it, so you just enjoy it as long as you can. I think about it, it just seemed like it was only yesterday. Luciano and I were down in South Jersey picking this baby up, and I was dreaming about all the changes I wanted to make to it, customize it. Seemed like it was yesterday. Now, I've been lucky enough, and I count it as one of the luckiest things in my life, to live in the time I did. I was born in 1945. 78 years I have had relatively good health, a great family, and been able to eke out a living without a lot of talent and skill, and unfortunately never hit the lottery, but didn't seem to ruin my life at all. But one thing I did hit the lottery on, I was born in the United States of America during a wonderful time to be alive. Here's an interesting question. No matter what bike you ride, or where you ride, or when you ride, what do you think about while you're riding? I know some people listen to radios or whatever. I see they have the ear pods or buds or whatever they are. I like to stop here and check out the animals, and have a kind of a little funny story here today I'll tell later in the video. It's very funny. And a lot of times while I'm stopping to take a few pictures or some video like this, the total stranger will just pull up in a car and say, hey buddy, everything's okay. And today was no exception, but I had a little bit of an experience. I had a real nice officer stop, make sure everything was okay, everything's good. And I explained to him I'm making video for my channel. And we chatted for a while. He was just a super nice guy. And one time Luciano and I were riding it up in New York State with the two-strokes, and a woman in a pickup truck stopped to see if we were okay. And we did, of course. And then after she left, everything was nice. She said her husband rode. Luciano asked, why did she stop? I said, hey, because you're just such a handsome Italian guy. And when we bought this bike, and it was such an ordeal finding a blue one because it was the end of the year. This was the end of the model year. And we had to pretty much drive down to Middle Jersey, South Jersey, and pick this up. And when I looked at it, I just couldn't stop thinking about what I wanted to change, what I wanted to paint. I wanted to make it as blue as possible. I wanted to get rid of all the flat black. I wanted to make custom logos. John Pothier was so helpful. I wanted to do polishing the exhaust. I looked at the exhaust. That came out great. And all of these little carbon fiber parts that I made from scratch, the brackets, the windshield, and then that big thing. And it was all pretty much a big monster job, painting those wheels with custom silver. And every one of those mods is out on the channel. You just need to search whatever one you're looking for: windshield mounts, carbon fiber, wheel painting. I'll bet there's 100 wheel painting videos out there. And I thank you to everybody that sends in the nice comments that they do regularly. So I hope this day went by for you as nicely and pleasantly as it did for me. But for me, it just went by too fast. I get to the middle or the end of every day and I think, where did that time just zip? Where did it go? And all the exercise I get riding, I think in the end it has helped me live the best life I possibly could under the conditions I've grown up in. But it's been a great time. And if your life feels like it's going by too fast, there's an answer. Just ride more, and when you're not riding, polish the motorcycle. And this whole year, all seasons, it's been a banner year for riding motorcycles. I've ridden more than I ever have, worn out more tires and chains and whatever, spent more money on gas, but at the end of it, I have gotten such great exercise. on, love. Put it on extra strong. Great ride, great ride. Beautiful day. Look at this, still a few yellow leaves on the trees here. What's not to like? Some leaves there. Oh, and the bike. The bike, it never gets old. Just holding that throttle wide open and going with the quick shifter. And if you want to postpone being old for as long as possible, ride motorcycles as often as you can. That has worked well for me. In fact, it's worked very well. And thanks, guys, so much for watching.